since I was a rep. And to be honest, it feels like a second home. Everybody just does a great job of making me feel like I'm from here for some reason. So truly honored to be here and excited to talk about training. We'll get things started. When I got the topic, I guess the reason that I was so excited was because of the fact that I could relate a lot. Yes, my previous career in baseball, played baseball for about 20 years of my life. I'm 26 now, and had a lot of great mentors. Played for a Division I university in South Texas. And a lot of the people that I had throughout my life that shared some of my moments in my previous career, they taught me a lot about training. I had my uncle himself that just retired from the Navy, taught me how to wake up, be disciplined, and how to go to work, how to train. I had multiple coaches. One of them actually from the university I played on is a coach now at the University of Miami. So from time to time I get to visit him as well. I had my brother as well as a mentor, and what he did to training. He got drafted by the White Sox, played in the minor leagues. He's also an All-American as a baseball player. And then lastly, my actual roommate in college. He actually plays for the San Diego Padres in the major league team, the 24-man roster. I get to see him on TV on ESPN. Got to room with him for 4 years. So all these people taught me a lot about the process, right, of training. And what I believe what training is just the promise of hard work. And what training and hard work promises is opportunity. All those guys, all those people show that example to me. And there was one thing that they all related to, and it was just the mentality that they have, which is the first point that we go into training. The mentality for those people, the attitude that they approached the day, the attitude they had, first of all, was exceptional. Every little obstacle we had, I can look at them and they were smiling at that obstacle, no matter what the case was. The way they approached the day, they thought of one day to be the last day. Some of my teammates, they used to tell me if this was the last day, if somebody were to go into the store, or Mike went to go into the store, and just on the performance that you did that day, you were going to get the decision of being an owner or not, what would you do? It was the same thing that they would tell me when I would go into the field. Right? I'll be like, Jesus, if this is the last day that you'll practice, tomorrow's the biggest day that you're going to have, how would you practice? And that was the day they approached. The mentality was to always just win a championship, no matter what it takes. That was the goal, no matter what happened. They were such great teammates, and that mentality was something that built a good cancer in front of me, inside of me, that allowed me to, pursue more and go for everything, and not just a small part of perhaps being top rep in the nation or whatever the case was. I wanted to be an outside promoter or be just a great example for the organization, or be a CEO of my own business. That mentality is something that the trainer has to have. You also have to have a plan. You have to have a structure. You have to be organized. You have to visualize. You have to have a routine. The visualization that you have has to be in detail. Where do I want to go? When I want to go? The routine that you have, it has to be every day as well. From the day that you wake up. You have to be an example for your people, for the habits that you have. John just talked about the tie, the image. It matters a lot. Now, until you go into teaching and mentoring, you have to master your craft. Came into the business and being fully honest, after 8 days of being on the floor, I hit my qualifications to management, and to be honest, I didn't even know how to overcome objections. I wasn't fully prepared. I noticed that when I started training my first person, it didn't go well. A lot of obstacles there, and I realized that I had to retrain myself. I realized, like Mike said, that I was the product. I realized that I wasn't ready, so I rewrote all my notes. I remember relying on the notes that I took the first day that I went into the office, and those notes were the ones that I was teaching other people, and to be honest, they were just hieroglyphics. I wasn't the best at taking notes. I rewrote all those, and then people in the office started borrowing my notes. I'll get pissed off because of this. So I made everything into a PowerPoint. I took it into my hands. I was like, you know what? All my notes are going to be PowerPoints now. If somebody wants to borrow them, I can just share the PowerPoint. Then after that, I made it into a Prezi. And then nowadays, when it comes to the business, for my managers, we have YouTube videos. Like, that's what we have. right? If I want to do a leaders meeting, I understand that there's going to be different leaders at different points, so I don't want to bore somebody on Sacron interviews, so I just do YouTube videos. I'm like, look, go to a YouTube video, there's the link, there's the Sacron interviews, and yes, I do have to refresh them from time to time because they get old, but that's how much I took into retraining myself and just mastering my craft overall. You have to relate to your people, and the negatives and the positives. Yes, you have to build, break, build. It's funny, I came to the business, started learning all these skills. My brother, who's 2.5 years old, younger than me, his birthday's tomorrow actually, and I used to train him. I used to go to the office, and back in the day we used to just sell DirecTV, so we'll go in at 12 o'clock. I would tell my manager, my promoting owner, Nacho, I was like, Nacho, from 8 to 10, man, I have to really go practice with my brother. He has a huge game going on. I promise you, I apologize, I'll be here at 10:30. Or the clock into 12, but for me, the opportunity was so great that I had to apologize for them not being early. And I would practice with my brother, just building him, so we'll go into the cage. Baseball is a huge baseball cage, so we don't lose the baseballs, and I go into the cage, and I'll build him up. I'll be like, hey man, you had a great game yesterday, it was awesome, you got this many hits, you saw the ball well. Go into practice, push the heck out of him, right? Tell him, you suck at this, you suck at that. Right now, it's my brother, so I can tell him that stuff straight up. If you want to tell that to a rep, right? But I can push him to that point of like, this is bad, what are you doing? Are we just wasting time here? What's going on? And at the end, I will build him up again. Hey man, that was great. Like, you got so much better today. That was the same thing that I was doing with my reps. You didn't know that, and it worked. It was awesome. It was a good feeling overall, right? I was able to relate with my brother in all those little aspects. And made me a better coach. It made me a better person just because of the fact that I had gone through everything that he was going right now previous 2 years before that. Last point when it comes to being a trainer, you have to be persistent. You have to know you have to be committed. I think the biggest word in training and the management training program that we have is training itself, and training means you're gonna fail. Training means you have to commit to that point as well, that you're gonna learn. So when you're training, do it right. Do a long-term training. You don't want to do this twice. Invest in yourself. Prepare yourself. And yes, the more prepared you are, the more people will follow. Be persistent in that concept itself. Awesome. Next one, key fundamentals. Talk about it a lot. I think in everything that we do, it's just communication. You have to be able to communicate with your people overall. And look, for this one, I'll show you an example. So I'll bring, where's Alex? Alex, come over here, man.
So I'll give you a real life scenario of how it happens. Okay? You have to communicate with your people. So in baseball, it's to be the shortstop, second baseman, right? Now, if you guys know about baseball, ladies, gents, you know that usually the shortstop, second baseman, they're the best looking guys on the team, right? So we'll make Alex the shortstop, I'm the second baseman, and there was a lot of scenarios going on where I had to get to the field. There was runner here, runner over there, crucial scenario, and I'll just be able to have so much of a good relationship with Alex, right, that I'll just look at him and we'll communicate all over the place, right? Outfields go that way, the coach was telling you something, but Alex was my best friend in the field, right? I was just right next to him all the time. I room with him in the bus. We had road trips. We built a relationship in road trips. We'll go to the store. We have lunch together. It was just one of those things. So when those scenarios happen, we're so much in sync that I'll just look at Alex and I'll be like, and I knew exactly what he was going to do. So when you get a program, you should be able to look at your people and just look at them and be like, we got this, Bivens, all right, yeah, for sure, it's going to happen. That's the communication that you want to establish with people. Next thing you know, you're trying to double play and you win the game.
You have to expect it. It's a lot of fun. Also says there, document growth. The goals that you have. There's a speaker talking about goals, so I won't go too much into it, but definitely keep track of that. Have people have been in this business, and you guys know how fast it moves. So sometimes I like to bring them back and tell them, look, man, you've been here only for 2 months, and look at everything that you have accomplished. This is awesome. Talk about TPC sheets, right? Keeping keeping track of your TPC sheets. I'm just so skeptical about that. I believe in numbers a lot. I mean, baseball was numbers, business is numbers, so it's just one of the things that I'm really skeptical about. Just pitching everybody, keeping track of everything that I have. I'm so much of it that if I don't close a customer, I write down at the bottom, like, why did I not do that? And it keeps my mind sane, right? So if I go to the floor the next day, when I go to the office the next day, I'm able to explain to my manager, like, this is kind of what happened. So, like, she just, she said, no, man, I don't know what to do. So I write everything down there because I want to make sure once I leave the floor, you know, I know exactly what I need to work on. So definitely preach the TPC sheet over. If you're not doing it, there's something wrong with it. Keep production of your people. You have to have an Excel sheet of all the cells that your people are doing as well when it comes to training. Keep following. There's a lot of people that don't keep track of their people's success, and that's one of the things that bothers me, to be honest, in the office. If somebody doesn't come up to me and tell me, Jesus, this guy is this close to get to management, they don't know where they're at. It almost bothers me because they don't really keep track of what they're trying to do here, right? So, and I know that because I see the numbers that they're pulling out. I know that we're supposed to have the conversation. I know that the manager should knock at my door and be like, man, he's almost there. He's going to make it. This is going to happen. And how many does it need? I know we said this number, and I know this is the deadline, but man, like just give me a number. Jesus, he's going to be there, right? They should be that excited when it comes to it. Keeping track of your team's production is essential. Then we have the LOA, of course. Can't live without it. Tracks your success. Lets you know the adjustments that you need to make. And it makes me really skeptical about the field itself. If I have 9 breakdowns and I need 10 to get a nap, I'm the guy that's going to stay there till 9:30, 10, right? I work in a field of Walmart, so I get to stay till 12 o'clock if I want to, right? So if I have one more breakdown to get that one cell, it's just going to happen and it's going to work. And it's so awesome when you see the rep next to you just walk out of the store and it's 9:30 and you're like, I told you. But inside you were just, super nervous because you told them to believe in all this stuff and nobody was coming into the table. You walk out like you knew everything was going to happen, and it did, hopefully in that case. But you have to preach it that much. And promise you, if you do that, your people are going to come to the office, and the first speech that they're going to give is, it was LOA. LOA, yeah, for sure, LOA works, and this is what happens. It's a really good culture in your office. We have a work ethic, showing extra mile. You're supposed to know how to do extra mile at that point, the repetition that you have. And then also, being able to train people to know a system and not just game itself. Everybody's different, so the one thing that you want to be consistent in, the reason that we did PowerPoints, YouTube videos, the whole thing, is because we wanted everybody to get the same training, the same concepts overall. Part of training when it comes to the fundamentals. Alright, so now we go into that training itself, layer training. So this is kind of how we do it in our org, in our business itself. Usually the first day we go over product knowledge. We do understand the product is the second thing we sell in this business. So from TVs to our competitors to the product itself, it's really important for you to go over all the little essentials and really dig into what it is. Then we go over the intro, teach energy and expectations. It takes a lot of energy to do what we do in the field, right? A lot of hard work too. So I give people those expectations, a lot of mentality. Give those people the expectation of the fact that we have to be energetic, we have to have those C factors, we have to have a good time, we have to have our fun. When I play baseball, when I go to the field, yes, we go out there to kill the opponent, right? But while we're doing it, we're smiling, we're communicating with each other, we're competing, right? We're doing a little chance, we're having a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys see those, but every time there's the 9th inning and the game is tied, the dugout just goes crazy. It's just a lot of people, and it's just like they're putting hats on top of each other, the hats are backwards, whatever the case is. I do the same thing in the field. I just do it with the markers. I have like market rallies, and there's all the markers there. We have to position them some type of way. It's a lot of those. Or at the dinner right here, if you score one before I do, or the buzzer beater, I'll take you out to eat, whatever the case is. Little things like that. Makes them a lot of fun. So I give them the expectation right off the bat, of course without scaring them too much. You have to know the person that you're training, but they definitely have to know the product knowledge, what they're selling in the introduction, what to expect in the field. that's the first day when it comes to the floor. The second day, we do qualifying questions. So breaking down the presentation, mainly the left side. I want them to get really good at the left side, because the more they know about the customer, the better they're going to be able to sell a product, the more they're going to be able to customize it to them. So I really dig into the left side, and if you have to break a bundle, or you have to talk about energy providers, or just security systems, I really want them to step by step separate every concept that they have. I don't care if I don't finish the whole presentation, as long as they're just really good at the breaking the bundle, or just knowing about the product, or asking a few qualifying questions. Listening and filtering is something that we do on the second day as well. Being a really good listener and also filtering people out. Right? I tell my people, be lazy in a good way. If a person walks up to you and they tell you, I'm paying $30 for internet cable and I have 4 boxes, just be nice to them. Greet them, tell them, hey, you have a great product. Is there anything that I can help you? Something that bothers you? Perhaps, no, I love it. Okay, no worries. Like, look, to be honest, you have a great deal. If anything goes wrong, we're here to help you out. I tell them, be lazy in the good way of finding those people that actually need help, instead of trying to convince people that are telling you that they don't need help. We go into the sizzle. How many of y'all call it sizzle? Just by yours. Anybody like the right side of the presentation when you actually tell them everything about the product? A few people call it sizzle. No? That's kind of what we call it. I thought it was a funny name. Now, I'm originally from California, so when they explained it to me, so Nacho's my promoting owner. I was like, Nacho, what would you call it sizzle? And I was like, well, here in Texas, we barbecue. So, all right, makes sense. What does that have to do with anything? He was like, well, when you put a steak in the grill, like, it sizzles. Your mouth, your mouth waters, and it makes you taste the food before you actually have your mouth, and it makes you want it more. And I told him, no wonder you take 2 hours to barbecue. By that time I'm starving. Explained that to me, so I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. So you want to explain the product to the person, like, the mouth is watering, like they really want it, like you're excited about it, like this is gonna be awesome. You're gonna love this, and you're gonna love that. That's the sizzle for us. And then the third one is body language and buying signs, being able to identify the impulse that we've been talking about, the clothes that you have, being able to get the customer to a close just on the buying signs they have. We usually just stitch like a really simple close, like you just hold this and fill it out, right? Take control of the comment. You just hold the tablet, fill this out for me, get you started. That's a simple close. We didn't go into detail until the 4th day. Now, in the 4th day, we go over objections and automatic response. So, being able to be comfortable in that scenario, I tell the guys, if the customer is asking questions, that's a good customer. Right? That's probably why they have good credit. A lot of the guys tell me, like, man, all my customers have fee pay. So I was like, did they ask any questions? No, well, it's probably because they never get anything good, or they didn't really take care of what they had that was good. So they're asking you questions, respect them. That's a good customer. That means they care about the credit. That means they care about what they have. Feel comfortable with the scenario. They're going to ask you a question. You should be excited. You should be bummed if they don't ask you a question. Can you hold this, sign up for me today? Sure. What? That was it? That was too easy. Man, that should be like the weird scenario there, not the opposite. And we have the close. Now we go to the 4th day. Taught them the first simple one, just passing out the tablet. Now we go into detail into all the closes that we have there. Right? 8 closes. You can do the Benjamin Franklin. You can do the assume to sell. Multiple ways to assume to sell. Whatever you have in the office, those are the 4 days there. And the 5th day, we usually just recap everything. Those are usually the days that we have in training. Now, after every day that we have in this training, we also have homework. Now, homework is really simple. If you're on day 1, homework is day 2. If the person's in day 1, you as a manager should call them that day and recap. I love to do this as an owner. After the first day, I bring them to the office and ask them, how was your day? I just sit down one-on-one with them. I want to make sure my guy, my rep, the guy that we just hired, knows who I am, and to know that he has his open door here and he can always come and talk to me. I wanted to give him that feeling of I'm not the owner of the business. Technically I am. I'm just the business partner of the business. I don't let anybody in my business call me boss. It's just the rule. Like, it's just not going to happen. I'm your business partner. That's how I should feel. There's a connection they want to create with your co-worker from day one. All right, we turn to the next page. We got scheduled training. So now let's go over the task itself, right? Jesus, when do you guys actually go to the floor? How many days do you get to the floor? One of the questions a lot of my reps ask me is, when do I stop training then? When do I stop being in the store with them? When can I just let him go? Usually you get the person to the floor after the third day of training, so once they know how to close, we show them that simple close. The reason behind it is because if we get an extra customer to the table, they at least know how to close that customer. So after 3 days, the third day being in the floor, in the office, they go to the floor. Right? In the field, the first day, all they do, they just pitch and bring people back to the table. That's all they do. I love it when people tell me like, hey, it's just, but they know how to do the left side, they study, they know the right side, all those little things. I'm like, but I just really want them to be really good at this one thing, which is just pitching and bringing people back to the table. I want them to be awesome at that concept. When I got trained baseball, they taught me how to bunt first in order to hit after. It's the same thing when it comes to it. So I want them to just really dial in one thing at a time. The second day, they go over the left side. Now, throughout the whole process, they're shadowing you. They bring the customer to the table, they pass it on to you, right? Bring them over here, and then now they're just shadowing throughout the whole process. So they're also learning how to do it, right? From the person that, it's a manager that's leading from the front that's doing a great job. They're listening to you. They're picking up ideas. Oh, this is what he says. Oh, this is the scenario that I'm going to encounter. Oh, this is what I would say. They start imagining like, okay, this is how I'm going to perform tomorrow. This is what I'm going to do on the left side tomorrow. All right. Second day, we go over the left side. They bring the customer to the table. They just do the left side. They pass it on to you. It's a little challenging there. You just have to have a lot of chemistry, passing out the ball to somebody else. It's kind of like this. We're happy you're shouting at the person, so if they're not doing something right, you're able to notice. You should be able to look at the presentation and be like, I know exactly where you're at. And this is what I taught you. This is awesome. Customer, what it is. Now they're going to see you close the customer, sizzle, get excited. They qualify. This is awesome. They're going to see the whole scenario passing. So now they're going to see that hopefully at least 10 times during the whole day. Imagine how good they'll be after seeing 10 sizzles, 10 steaks being cooked in front of you. They're a chef at that point. They're ready to go. They're from Texas. Then we go to the third day. This day, they bring the person to the table, right? TPC sheet. We're doing it. We're making it happen. Left side, we go to the right side. They're closing the customer. They don't know how to overcome objections, but here comes the coach, right? The coach is like, I got this, right? It's okay. They're bleeding a little bit because they ask them, the satellite sucks, and you're like, it's going to be fine. Oh, here's my manager. Pretty sure it doesn't, but look, he knows better than me. And then you come in here, right, like the closer in the game, like this is gonna happen, right? You tell him, no, it's great. AT&T just bought us out. It's awesome. You have nothing to worry about. Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco, those retailers wouldn't have us here. They wouldn't have us here. This wouldn't work. And then the guy looks at you like, hell yeah, that's what I needed. Look at that, really. This is great. That's what I'm talking about. They're looking up to you now, like he's the closer. I want to be like you. It's exciting. Now, once they get to the close, we go into the fourth day, and they start doing the whole thing. They get to buying signs and objections. You're still shadowing a little bit more, letting them go, right? By the fifth day is test day, we call it. Right? Fifth day, we're with them, we're by themselves, right? So if they bring the customer, that's the day that you kind of just step away little by little. They bring the customer. They're looking at you. They're searching for you. Like, where's my backup? Where's my closer? The closer left to the bathroom. All right, now you're by yourself. Now they're put in a tough situation. Like, man, what do I do? Well, he said this. Maybe I should say it too. Come back from the bathroom. They're super excited. It was a few people. They closed. As soon as this is what happened, man. Like, I closed the customer and everything was great. I did exactly what he told me to do. What you did yesterday. Guess what happened? I closed it. It's just, it was a feedback. But who cares, man? Like, freaking closed the whole presentation. That was great. You're like, yeah, that's awesome. Good idea. That's letting them grow. Now let's get one. Let's get another one. Yeah, for sure. Let's go. It's exciting. The sixth day, they're by themselves. That was the one that you're in a different store, right? Your rep is by themselves, so you cut the cord. Get excited. They're by themselves over there in the store. I think it's one of probably the best feelings they can have when they score that first half by themselves, right? If you can relate, it's one of the best feelings that I had once I opened the business. Once I saw the rep You do one of those go to sleep. Let's go. Work. Get really excited. It's a growth moment there. It's also a test day, even for them. Imagine for them, I feel 6 days in the business, they're closing a customer by themselves. Now, everybody's a little different, right? There's going to be other people that come to the floor and they move up a little bit faster. You have to know your people too. You have to build a relationship with your people, of course, right? It also says there AM, PM, questions, scenarios. Make sure after the field, you're able to ask them this question: what are 3 things you learned? What are 3 things you need to get better at? You have to prepare yourself before you go into the office the next day. It's not acceptable for you to come to the office and ask them, what do we need to work on? You wasted time already. You have probably an hour of atmosphere. I never heard of a successful person say, I just need 1 hour a day to get better, to be successful. It just doesn't happen. We need to understand that. We need to understand that 1 hour of practice is not going to be enough. So we need to find ways for us to practice more and more and more and more. For us to give the training as much as we can. Those questions, those scenarios. So make sure, please, able to preempt to strike everything that you're going to practice the next day and train the next day in the floor. Don't get me wrong, also there's AMs and PMs. AMs and PMs are not just about the business. You're supposed to have fun. You're supposed to celebrate your days, go out to eat, whatever the case is. Get to know the person as much as you can. Build that chemistry, that bond with them. Perfect. The last thing that I have here when it comes to training. As y'all seen from the beginning, I call it the process. You have to love the process. You have to love the training. You have to expect the fact that sometimes there are going to be scenarios that are going to punch you back. The main one that comes to mind when it comes to that I can perhaps relate to you in the business itself. My brother came to the same university. We come from San Diego, California. They got us to pay full scholarships, baseball, and the college there in South Texas. And every time I came, they brought him in, right? They'll see me play, did a decent job, and they'll find out that I have a little brother that's 6 foot. So a little big brother, right? How is he? And I was like, I'll tell him he's better than me. They wouldn't believe it and all this, and they will see him, they wouldn't tell me anything after, but I'm pretty sure that's what they thought too. His junior year of college, he came into senior year, and his goal was to get drafted. Right, that was my goal too. I stopped playing baseball so I can concentrate on him. I told him, look, I had to make it. You're gonna make it. And that year he became an All-American. Well, that year, the whole summer, it was the first summer that we didn't go home and visit our parents because we made a huge adjustment to what he was doing before. And in this case, it was just his swing. It's just the way that he bat. I told him, look, man, there's a few things that you're missing to get drafted. This is the reality. First, you didn't hit any home runs. And everybody knows that you need to hit home runs in this game. Like, that's all we're shooting for. You had 1 home run. Like, that's just not going to work, so we're going to have to adjust the whole swing. Something that happened there. This guy's an All-American. And here comes this crazy brother trying to tell him switch everything so he can have a better, so he can actually make it. Why did he listen to me? I have that trust with him. I built that trust throughout the whole process, throughout the whole training. He knew I set a good example for the guy, for him to believe in me. So we went every freaking day, the whole freaking summer, from 6 o'clock to 7 p.m. I even do the prep meals for the guy, for him to get to that point. So it's the whole thing. You have full trust on me. Played against A&M, he played against UT, he played against TCU, home runs to all of them. Probably one of the biggest days that I most enjoyed in my life. We were sitting down. Yeah, it was draft day. We worked our asses off. I mean, that was crazy. It's one of those days. We're sitting down, and when you're in that moment, you're literally, you just wet them. Draft day, everybody's super nervous. 4 teams. Like, who's gonna pick us? And we're like, I don't know. Just literally sitting down with them. You're right here. You don't know what to talk about. There's nothing to talk about. You're just waiting on
that call. It's not such thing as saying, how's your day going, whatever the case is. It's just, we're just waiting on that call, super nervous, like, is this gonna be off? Is this gonna happen? I'm over here like, shit, man, he trusted me. This better work out. He gets the call after that. Started crying with him. We're really excited. And I remember I told my brother, I was like, man, this is the thing, this is only the beginning. This is barely the start. A year after that, I came to this business, and in 7 months, I was able to come up over here, and I called my brother, right, and to be honest, when I got promoted, it was almost that exact feeling of the fact that we go through shit and bad. We train so much to achieve that success. We go to the training, we go to everyday scenario, and I call my brother. Hey man, it happened. I got promoted, I got my own business. We're making it happen. You're over there with the White Sox, I'm over here grinding it out. Almost backfired on me. You know what he told me? Hey man, this is only the beginning.
Lastly, I do want to thank Mike, John, Tony, great mentors for me over here in Florida. John, I know him in my first meeting that I have over here, and Tony's my grandpa, so really want to thank him for giving the opportunity to be here. The ladies in the org, you're awesome. Thank you so much. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much.